After the disruption of the last few years, college and university students head back to in-person school with COVID still in the air. With us from Thunder Bay, Ontario, for a student's perspective on the year ahead, let's welcome Mitra Yakubi, Chair of the Canadian Federation of Students Ontario and a student at the University of Toronto. And Mitra, we're happy to have you back on our airwaves. And I want to start by just asking you, what do you think students have missed the most over the last couple of years?
Thank you so much, Steve, for having me again on the show. I think some of the things that students have missed out on the past 2 years have just been that holistic university experience, given that, they haven't been able to go to their campuses. They haven't been able to interact with their classmates, their professors, their TAs, and other community members in the same way. So I think there's like a missing of that feeling, just being able to go to university and connect with folks. I think folks were having a really difficult time just making those connections as they happen naturally on our campuses. But also they've had to miss out on some hands-on experiences when it came to like labs and being able to have that one-on-one interaction and things like that. So I think there was a little bit of like that missing out. And beyond that, I think some students were also struggling with having a space, like a quiet space at home for those that weren't able to study, that didn't have that study space at home, just struggling finding a place to study and keeping up with their studies like the past 2 years because of that interrupted learning.
Well, you're coming to Toronto later this week to start your schooling again at the U of T, at the Monk School. And are you nervous?
A little bit. I think there is a little bit of anxiety in terms of what to expect from school, given that I haven't been in fully in-person learning since 2019.
Now, I gather most students in the province of Ontario have had to pay full tuition, despite the fact that they haven't had access to their campuses or a lot of classroom instruction. Is that your understanding as well?
Yeah, that is actually our experiences. Like even during my undergraduate time, we were still being charged full tuition fees, despite the fact that we were going through online learning. And beyond that, I think something that was really shameful was that international students still saw an increase in their tuition fees in the midst of a pandemic. So we were going through a pandemic, but students were still being charged thousands of dollars to be in these institutions. And we know that tuition fees make education so much less accessible for students who are already struggling paying all the things that they have to pay for.
Now, the post-secondary institution argument would be, we know you're not getting to the classes, we know you're not getting to the campuses, we know you're not doing the extracurriculars, but you're still getting the piece of paper at the end of the day. So they say you should have to pay the full freight. What do you think of that argument?
I think there are a few ways to think about it. As an institution, our most important priority needs to be students, and we need to think about, did we do that during the pandemic? Were we supporting students in the way that they deserve to be supported, given that they were going through a pandemic, trying to get through their academic responsibilities, and also doing all the things that they have to do? So that's my take on it. I think we need to be more intentional in the way that we're treating students in our institutions and the way that we're supporting them, because students have been struggling for the past 2 years.
Okay, you ready to get into some controversy here? Shall we go for this?
Sure.
Okay. Most post-secondary schools, as you well know, have dropped the mandatory vaxxing and masking. Western University in London has not. They're still adamant that if you want to attend class, you got to have 3 vaccinations and a mask. What do you think of that?
I think when it comes to like COVID safety protocols and restrictions and things like that, they are important in a lot of ways because they keep ourselves, they keep our communities and students that are the most vulnerable and most impacted by the pandemic safe. But at the same time, when it comes to mandates, there is this other side where it does also negatively impact some students, like the marginalized students on our campuses who may have been more policed in terms of like whether they had a vaccination or they were masking and things like that. So we have to be really careful when we're thinking about that. And also in terms of vaccine requirements and mandates, I think it's just been a really difficult time for international students, especially given that some of them have had to take 4 or 5 doses of the vaccine because what they had back home was not accepted by the government here. So I think there is a difficulty in like processing and going through these mandates.
But in our last 20 seconds here, are you saying you think every post-secondary institution should do what Western's doing?
I think regardless of the decision that institutions are making, it needs to be an opportunity for folks to be able to have students in the table when they're making that decision. I think student voices have not been heard, student voices have not been consulted, and it's important for them to be part of that decision-making process. It's really important for us to advocate for flexible learning opportunities for all students, so no student is left behind as we return back to our campuses, and to just ensure that all students are supported throughout this process, because we may be done with the pandemic, but the pandemic is not done with us.
Well, you've been heard on this program tonight, Mitra, and we're glad you could join us again. And don't be nervous. You're going to be fantastic this year. Have a good time at U of T.
Thank you so much.
The Agenda with Steve Paikin is made possible through generous philanthropic contributions from viewers like you. Thank you for supporting TVO's journalism.